Hello everyone and welcome to episode 1 of Germacraft. Just kidding. Today we're going to be taking a look at a canceled video from around, I guess it would have been 2021. It was canceled, but I think I started working on it in 2020 in the summer. It was a Mario Kart retrospective, basically me reviewing every game in the Mario Kart series from, beginning to end. The reason it was canceled was because whenever I would input import the footage that I had recorded of the games, Premiere would just not work with it. It kind of, it would stutter and freeze and stuff like that. The video was very ambitious, but it would have been like an hour long, I think, but I ended up wanting to split it in 2 parts because I wasn't sure if people would watch that. The script was almost fully written and all that stuff. Like, the next step would have been voiceover editing, that stuff. And usually I can, do that no problem, but because of the footage being weird and not working with Premiere, I canceled it. I moved on. Not sure what I made afterwards, but pretty sure I made the Sailor Moon video, and that's a classic. So today we're just gonna kind of look at what remains of it, talk about it a little bit, because I think that would be neat. So let's look at the thumbnails. Okay, that one looks kind of rough, but I probably redid that. But here it is in kind of the I guess season 2 style. But this was before I wanted to split it in half, I think. And then so this was part 1. This was Super Mario Kart up until Double Dash, so I kind of dubbed it Growing Pains, because those games I feel like they were kind of still trying to figure it out. So here it is. We have that season 2 style with the black outline, blurred background, the big R. Anyway, and then Mario Kart refining the formula. So this would have been DS to 8. Here we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe art, the big R, blurred background, refining the formula. This thumbnail looks okay, I guess. Okay, well, I found kind of the next best thing, I guess. The very first thumbnail is not on my computer, but I have it here. It's right next to this Gorillas thing. So this is a horribly out of date image. Reviews in 2020. I think only 2 of these were produced. But anyways, so if you take a look, we have the old Mario Kart retrospective thing here. I actually kind of like this. It's solid. It looks nice. Like, I probably wouldn't use it today, but it fit. But now we're going to take a look at the script. So this was almost done. Pretty much all I had to do was finish talking about Mario Kart 8 as well as the conclusion. So let's take a look here. We have an introduction basically explaining that that Mario Kart's my favorite multiplayer game, which that is still the case. Prologue, so kind of the origin of Mario Kart. Now, Super Mario Kart. I did not like Super Mario Kart at all. In fact, I hated it a lot. Really, I did not like it. So, obviously, my opinion here reflects that. So, does this game still have merit? Well, in my eyes, Super Mario Kart is not good. Fantano joke. So this would have been season 2, and in season 2 I kind of grew out of being like a prick, but I was still kind of a prick here. But let's get my positives out of the way first. It's not a long list. The game's menus and UI look good, the character sprites are well done, and the music holds up. Yep, that's all my compliments. This game has aged about as well as a slice of American cheese that has been wedged in a couch that is sat in a moist alleyway for 30 years. It's still kind of funny. Yeah, I hated the way it controlled. I thought it was horribly dated. And F-Zero is a better game. You know, you could have played that at the time. And I hated, like, just, like, you got booted out if you didn't place a certain way. And that was kind of trash, to be honest. Yeah, so I kind of went on about that. Oh, and the visuals, yeah, I didn't really, like, I found it kind of just annoying to play. It kind of strained your eyes a little bit. I do realize that it was the first of its kind, so of course it's not going to be that good. But there are games out there, blah blah blah. So I'm talking about how F-Zero was a bit of a better game that kind of played to the Super Nintendo strengths instead of against them. I definitely went on a lot of rants here. It's not too long though. I still, like, I've revisited this script a few times. The writing is alright, to be honest. Like, it's not too bad. There's some things I would definitely change, but most of it is fine. So now we have Mario Kart 64, and I actually really enjoyed Mario Kart 64. Little dated, but I feel like it had charm to it, and I remember talking about that. Mario Kart 64 is definitely a dated game, but it's packed with so much charm I can't help but to enjoy it. The visuals have an appealing look to them, and the wacky sound effects are fun and give this game personality. The soundtrack is fantastic. I agree, because I do think Mario Kart 64 it's got a lot of charm to it. Track design is legitimately great. This game has to be the epitome of how a game can evolve from one system to another. Gone are the flat, boring tracks of Super. Now with new hardware, these tracks look distinct and are memorable. Absolutely. And one thing I talked about, I think, was, yeah, the phases. So one thing I noticed about Mario Kart design was how tracks will work in phases. They'll have like one section of this and one section of this, and it kind of, you know, keeps the pace and keeps it interesting. And Mario Kart 64 introduced that, so I talked about that. But like Primus says, they can't all be zingers. Primus joke. I don't really listen to Primus, but I put that there anyway. There are a couple tracks in this game that I don't care for. Wario Stadium is generally fun, but pretty dang boring. This is back when I didn't swear, so I didn't say damn or shit. Cocoa Mountain is visually plain and has this annoying part where you fall off the edge and end up in last place. Yeah, that one sucks. Banshee Boardwalk, I hate this track. I still hate Banshee Boardwalk. I do not care for Banshee Boardwalk at all. Yeah, so far I'm kind of agreeing with what I'm saying here. Though the most divisive part of this game is the controls. Yeah, they're not great, but I think they're alright. I think they're okay. So for a lot of people, these issues I listed are complete deal breakers, especially the controls. If you hate them, you definitely won't enjoy this game at all. I can admit this game is extremely dated, but I think that's what makes it enjoyable for me. I find that its rough elements exude a lot of personality and gives the game its charm. The tracks, the music, the visuals, and Toad's ridiculous voice all come together to create something that I really enjoy despite its rough edges. This game is kind of like a rusty sign in a way. It's aged for sure, but it has a charm. And that's all that matters. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good analogy. Yeah, I remember being proud of that one. Now, Super Circuit. Bit of a short one, but underrated. Like, it's not great, but like this game, people kind of write it off. Like, I think it's actually pretty good. Like, it controls well, the music is pretty good. Like I really liked Super Circuit. It wasn't a favorite, I didn't like love it, but I was kind of impressed because it controls like Mario Kart 64, not Super Mario Kart. So You know, I was impressed by that. Okay, now Mario Kart Double Dash. A lot of people really love Double Dash. I thought it was great. Not quite that good. Because Double Dash, it sits in a bit of a middle ground between, you have 64 and then DS. And DS kind of changed everything, made it the modern Mario Kart. Visually speaking, Double Dash nails it. The game is very smooth for a GameCube game. I love the way Sherbert Land looks. Oh yeah, Rainbow Road, fantastic looking game. Oh yeah, so these tracks continue to the idea of having set pieces, but they added another thing into the mix: spectacle. Little exciting things that pop up during the tracks. A fantastic example. Blah blah blah. Yeah, the spectacle. So things you get shot out of a cannon or whatever. So you have all of that. That was kind of a thing in Double Dash. So that kind of introduced that. However, a lot of the tracks in Double Dash don't meet those same highs. They're not bad or anything, just kind of bland. There may not be as much going on, or maybe the visuals don't stick out. I will admit, I don't particularly care for Mushroom City. Yeah, that one. That's not a good track. It's mid track. No, that one wasn't good. On a more positive note, let's talk about Double Dash's controls. Yeah, this was the game where the controls got a lot more tight, I guess. It controls pretty well. They added the little drift boosts. Drifting didn't feel the best. I was playing with an Xbox controller, not sure if the analog triggers on the GameCube controller changed anything. Now the partner system, I remember being kind of like underwhelmed by because I feel like the system just ended up feeling like a spruced up double item box, because you just had two characters with two items, and then you had some special attacks, but some of the special attacks were broken, and then some of the specialist attacks sucked. Like, it's fun, and I would like to see them return to it, because I feel like it has some potential, maybe, but like, for the most part, I was kind of underwhelmed by it. It's cool, but I feel like in 8 Deluxe, when they added the double item slot, it kind of was the same thing. Let's not kid ourselves here. It's a double item box in disguise. But fun game. Like, the great tracks are like, damn, those are great. So that would have been part 1. That would have been a pretty decent video, you know? Yeah. And then we moved into refining the formula, and then interlude. So I kind of talked about how the series changed. I talked about the different branding. I would talk about online play. That's right, yeah. And then we have Mario Kart DS. Love DS. Great game. Really lived up to the hype, to be honest. This entry adds just so many things to the series, helps it feel more fleshed out, really giving you some bang for your buck. The character roster is pretty standard. Dry Bones, Waluigi, Rob the Robot. Rob, I love Rob in the game, he's really cool. Oh yeah, and then I was going to talk about how the blue shell was tweaked, how it became a bit more random, because with DS, that's whenever the game started to add in randomness, because in Double Dash backwards, it was a bit more skill-based. A little more skill-based, but as it went on, it got a lot more random, and I think more fun, but some people would probably disagree. Oh yeah, the drifting, they got the drifting perfect in DS. Not only are the controls tighter than ever before, but the track design itself is the same way. It's pretty fantastic. I don't really dislike any of it, if I'm being fully honest. Nice. I remember really enjoying DS. I remember thinking it really lived up to the hype. I liked all the tracks. My favorites were Yoshi Falls, Delfino Square, Shroom Ridge, Peach Garden is a banger. Delfino Square, love that one. Locations are varied, Each track in a cup is very different from one another. You won't be racing on 2 circuits in one Grand Prix. It's very nice. Oh yeah, they added retro tracks in this game, so I talked about that. Oh, I had a little complaint here, but this also means that we get 8 tracks from the most basic looking games in the series, making the lineup a bit underwhelming. They definitely should have randomized things a bit more and held back on the SNES and GBA stuff, if you ask me. But hey, it's really cool to see. I don't remember saying that, but I guess so, because I guess they went in that kind of order, but I guess the later games kind of shuffled it. Oh yeah, mission mode was a banger. I wrote a whole last paragraph on this shit, goddamn. Yeah, mission mode was really fun. Like, it worked really well for portability, I'd say. However, there is something about this game that may be controversial. It implements something that would stay with the series, randomness. Well, I like the randomness. And then I talked about the blue shell, because the blue shell is sort of a conflicting thing for me, because I kind of, my opinion is like of it is that I don't really think it helps, because if you get it in like 7th place, it doesn't really help you, you know. So I kind of talked about that. But yeah, I remember really enjoying Mario Kart DS. I remember I played most of these games on the Wii U Virtual Console, so that was pretty cool. But the thing I was looking forward to the most with this retrospective, you know, actually making it, was revisiting Mario Kart Wii, because I love Mario Kart Wii, and that was the one I grew up with. That was one of the first video games I ever played, really. Yeah, I kind of talked about my backstory, or my experience with this game, talking about the TV broadcast aesthetic. I love the aesthetic of Wii. Some people say it's sterile. I like it. I don't care what anybody says. It contains my favorite piece of menu music. I agree, that menu music is amazing. It takes me back. The big selling point of this game was, of course, the Wii wheel. Yeah, so the controls of Wii, the motion controls, really made it pretty easy to understand for people, because like my dad was able to play it, because you just, you know, whoops, you just moved it like that, and pretty easy to understand. So I kind of just talked about that. I talked about the controls, because on the classic controller, if you wanted to do a trick, if you were holding the analog stick, you'd have to go and press the D-pad to do a trick, so you had to play like with a claw. That was trash. That was stupid. That reminds me, every single track has something that sticks in your mind, and no matter how minute it is, whether it be the cows in Moo Moo Meadows or the bats in Wario's Gold Mine. There's one thing that always stuck out to me: the little leaf piles in Maple Tree Way. No, I'm serious. You can drive through them and get items. It's neat, and every time I think about that track, those leaf piles come to mind. Yeah, that's one thing about Wii, is that it's very memorable. It's very memorable. And I love that about it. Yeah, so far I'm really messing with the takes in this script. Yeah, I just love Mario Kart Wii. I talked about the randomness in Wii, and I love the randomness. It's a ton of fun. It's ridiculous, but I think that's an important part of Wii. You know, you can't have Mario Kart Wii without having the randomness. Now, Mario Kart 7, I played as well, like back in like 9th grade. I think I talked about that. So I played Mario Kart 7 back in 9th grade in this guitar class I had, but in the guitar class we barely had to do anything. So I just played video games. I played Mario Kart 7 a lot, I played Yoshi's Island sometimes, and I played Mother 3. So that was cool. So that's a nice memory. Yeah, and I played it a lot in 9th grade, but when I came back to it, I was kind of underwhelmed. I said it was vanilla right here. It keeps with the more modern style of DS and Wii, but it's very stripped back aside from the visuals. But in terms of general gameplay, it doesn't do anything interesting. It isn't terrible by any means, but it's quite plain. The tracks in this game are tightly designed and are fun, but like they don't do much. Yeah, it's just more of a plain game, I feel like. I kind of agree with Scott the Waz's video on it. I kind of agree with what he said, how it's good, but it's not like fantastic, which is pretty much the heart of this thing. You know, I do like the kart customization. There are good courses. Not sure if I named any. Okay, yeah. Music Park. The 2 Woohoo tracks. I love those. In fact, this game's Rainbow Road is one of the best. I'd probably put it up there with, it's probably up there. Like, my favorite Rainbow Roads are probably Wii, Double Dash, 64, and I guess 7. 7 is very dynamic. Yeah, like Mario Kart 7 is really good, but like DS is better. Like, aside from the visuals, DS has better tracks, better content. I prefer DS, but yeah, I kind of agree. I remember, so for funny story here. So Citra does not work with AMD graphics cards. So I had to get my friend who had an NVIDIA graphics card to go and record gameplay of this and give it to me on a flash drive at school. So and he did. Okay, now lastly, Mario Kart 8. I did not finish this. Alright, last game to discuss. Yeah, Mario Kart 8, I've put a ton of time into it. I play 8 a lot. And it's the one game I probably consider myself good at. Yeah, I play 8 a lot with my friends, kind of talk about my relationship with the game, like I usually do. Mario Kart 8 feels like a more fleshed out version of 7. It features the gliding and underwater sections, but due to this game's amazing visuals, they feel more warranted. This Mario Kart is probably the best controlling and overall the best feeling to play in my opinion. Everything is on point here. The weight, the drifting, the turning, everything just feels seamless. I honestly don't know how else they could top this. It took them a long time, but they finally perfected the game feel. And these tracks, man, they're amazing. Yeah, I mean, they're just so many banger tracks in 8. Damn. And the anti-gravity was something I kinda was, like, I thought about it. And the anti-gravity in 8 doesn't really do much. Like, the camera changes and it feels the exact same. So it's not like this crazy thing, except for when you're riding up walls. That's cool. But I was kind of thinking, like, how could it feel different? And there's actually a track in the recent DLC wave, the ice cream one, that actually kind of answers that question, because the gravity is lower and it's all floatier. And I was like, oh, well, that's one way, but I'm not sure how annoying that would get in the regular stages. But that was one thing that could have made it feel more distinct. Oh, and the retro tracks in 8 are amazing. They're just, and the GBA tracks, Ribbon Road, goddamn, it's so great. And that's all I wrote for that. I thought I had more notes. Maybe I have more notes somewhere else. But yeah, that's pretty much the script. So yeah, I still kind of like it. I mean, I put a lot of effort into it, you know, a lot of time. It's not bad. I just, like I said, the reason this wasn't made was because of technical reasons, pretty much. Like, that's about it. But yeah, not a bad track. Let me try and kind of remember some editing things. I remember I was gonna have like a little montage in the beginning, some cool transition screens, stuff like that. You know, pretty standard Row Reviews video, just much longer. Alright, my camera's dying, but we're gonna take a look at a few more footage. So here we have some B-roll that I did. So this was filmed with this camera, but I didn't have a light like I do now. I like this shot. So this is a 64 on the gamepad with little Toad. So Toad was my main man for all these games. I specifically played as Toad. Ah yeah, so there's a bit when I was talking about Super Circuit where I was talking about how, oh, you can just put the game in your pocket and leave and go, and it's there. So here I am. Here's me showing off box art. Oh, I couldn't get that to focus. I was talking about all the different controller options. I was going all in with this. My room isn't set up like this anymore. This shelf is gone currently. That's neat. This was all the different controllers. Yeah, so you had to play with a claw to do a trick. That's kind of what I was talking about. So this was gonna be me. Right, this game controls suck. Yeah, so I don't have the shelf anymore, or these shelves. Oh, right. I flipped off the controller. Nice. Whoa, look at that. Well, he put it in, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have a regular light, and I had a warm light instead of the white light, which I mean, it doesn't look terrible, to be honest. It could be worse. What's this? That looks nice. I was trying to get cool angles. Wow. So cool, bro. Yeah, so that's pretty much the what is left of the Mario Kart retrospective. It probably would have been a banger. Probably would have still been one of my favorite videos, and it just didn't pan out. Which is a shame. Me returning to this, I wouldn't say it's off the table, but I can't really guarantee it. However, a friend of mine did give me the idea of doing like individual videos of each game, like short ones, and maybe like once a day or once a week, for fun, you know, appease the algorithm, you know, make them ahead of time, something like that. That's definitely something I could do. I think that would work well, you know. I wouldn't have to ham it up as much, because this would have been hammed up. I know the ending would have been, you know, that classic row reviews, you know, kind of sentimental ending. But yeah, that's pretty much how it would have been, you know, all the games, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at a canceled video. But hey, if I can bring it back somehow, I certainly will, because I do think this script, it's got a good foundation. So hey, never say never, and I'll see you guys later.